Number 16 for signals and systems. In last class, we discussed Fourier transform and how to compute frequency spectrum when we are given with a time domain signal. We also derive these two expressions that if we want to compute the frequency domain of a signal, then we need to use this equation that is called Fourier transform. And if we are given with only frequency spectrum and we wish to compute time domain signal, then we need to use this equation, and this is called inverse Fourier transform or synthesis, right? So in last class we said if we got a signal that is e to the power minus at u of t when a is greater than 0, that means this signal must be defined, this is t axis, from here. When t is 0, the output must be 1 and so on, like this, right? It would be exponentially decaying as time progresses, and it would only exist from 0 to t because 0 to infinity because of this u of t. Okay, so we wish to compute the frequency spectrum of this particular signal. So we know in order to compute the frequency spectrum of a continuous time aperiodic signal, we need to use Fourier transform. So this is the equation for Fourier transform, and now we wish to compute frequency spectrum. So we know that this x of t is equal to this value as it is stated in the problem. So what would this component do? This would reduce this integral from 0 to infinity because u of t is only defined from 0 to infinity and its amplitude is 1. So this integral would be reduced to 0 to t, 0 to infinity e to the power minus at e to the power minus j omega t dt. Now we know these bases are same, so their powers are added and we get this value. Let me erase this step. Okay, so now if we take minus and t as common, then what we is left with minus bracket a plus j omega t, right? And if you know that if we have a function over exponent e to the power f of x, and if its derivative is available in coefficient, then the integral is same e to the power that function. So this part is missing here, so I have divided and multiplied, so it won't affect on the equation, right? So now we got f dash of x here and f of x here, so its integral would be e to the power minus a plus j omega t, right? So and after applying limits, you see, first we need to apply upper limit, and when infinity is multiplied with this term, it would get infinity again, and when infinity is multiplied with minus, it would be minus infinity. And you know e to the power minus infinity is 0, minus lower limit e power 0 is minus 1, and now this minus 1 and this minus would be plus, right? 1 upon a plus j omega when a is greater than 0. Now we wish to graph it. We want to see how would it look like when we graph it. Now you can see this is the original function, and if we put omega is 0 here, right? This is omega axis, this is x of j omega, is magnitude spectrum, this is phase spectrum, right? So when omega is 0, you can see if I put omega 0 here, then the magnitude would be 1 upon a, right? So this is 1 upon a. Okay, when omega is a, so this would be a square plus omega square, then a square plus omega square is 2a square, right? And if we compute its under root, then it would be 1 upon under root 2a, and if we multiply and divide under root 2 with the resultant output, we get under root 2 upon 2a, right? So on minus a and plus a, signal is like this one, and it would be exponentially decaying on both sides, right? As far as angle is concerned, angle is omega over a, right, minus tangent inverse omega over a. When it is a, then a upon a is 1, and we know tangent is 1 on 45 degrees, right? So pi by 4, right? On minus a it is plus pi by 4, because minus tangent inverse, if you remember how to compute angle, minus tangent inverse imaginary over real, right? So this would be the phase of the signal. We want to compute other examples as well. So let's say now we have e to the power minus a absolute of t, right? Means this signal would be positive on both axes, like this one, right? On negative axis it would be also positive, and positive axis it will be also positive. So how to compute the Fourier transform for it? We know the equation would be same, and now from minus infinity to plus infinity, e to the power minus at, because when we wish to solve absolute t, what we replace is it is minus t when t is less than 0, right? When t is less than 0, and positive t when t is greater than 0, right? So we are applying same definition here. You can see original signal is e to the power minus a, and now because we are dealing with from minus infinity to 0 means t is negative, so we multiply another minus with this t, then minus into minus plus at e to the power minus j omega t from this equation, and from 0 to infinity it is e to the power minus at e to the power minus j omega t, right? Now what we will get from here, we will get a minus j omega t, and from here minus bracket a plus j omega t, right? So if we compute its integral, then the result would be like this. So now if you input this minus infinity, upper limit is 1 and minus e to the power minus infinity is 0, so you will get only this value, and from here if you apply upper limit it would be 0, and when you apply lower limit it would be minus 1, so minus into this minus would be plus. So this would be like this, and if you solve it, you will get this particular resultant frequency response of exponential signal, and if you plot it, the result would be this. If you apply, for example, for omega equal to 0, if you put 0 here, you would get 2a upon a square, which would be 2 upon a. So on 0 axis it's 2 upon a. When you input a, then a square plus a square is 2a square. So 2 would be cancelled, and 1a would be reduced. In the denominator we would get 1 upon a. So same like on minus a, because it is squared. So you can plot the signal like this. Now there is another example. If x of t is just an impulse, and impulse is defined only on 0, yes, its width is 0, its amplitude is infinity, and its area is 1. This is the description for an impulse signal, right? Its area is always 1. Now let us compute its frequency spectrum. Now we know x of t is only delta t. Now we know this function only exists on t equal to 0, right? And if you put t equal to 0 here, you will get 1. So this term would be reduced to 1. And we know delta t, area under the curve of delta t is, we know area of delta t is 1. So the total output of this signal would be only 1, right? Okay, very easy. Now we are interested in to compute the frequency spectrum of a rectangular pulse. So for example, this is a rectangular pulse, but it is aperiodic. We computed Fourier series of same kind of signal, but that was periodic, right? But this now it is not the case. It is just defined on over one interval of time, right? So for example, this signal is 1 from minus t1 to t1, right? We wish to compute the frequency spectrum of this signal. So this signal only exists from minus t1 to t1, right? So this x of t would be 1 from minus t1 to t1, right? And if we solve it, we need the derivative of this function as coefficient, so we multiply and divide both, right? and we solved integral, we get this one. Applying lower limit and upper limit. Now if I multiply 2 in the denominator and numerator, I will get 1 upon 2j here and 2 in the numerator. So this whole term would be reduced to sine omega t1, right? This is sine omega t1, right? This is the final answer for this rectangular pulse. It's a sinc function, if you see, right? Now if you wish to compute, because you can see if we apparently if we say we put omega is equal to 0, the function would be undefined, but using L'Hopital rule, when omega approaches to 0, this sign would be cos omega t1, and derivative of the inner function, that would be only t1, so 2t1, right? 2t1 cos omega t1, and the derivative of denominator would be 1. So when you apply omega 0 in cos, you will get 1, and when 1 is multiplied with 2t1, you get 2t1. So on 0 axis it's 2t1, and it would be a sinc function. Its first 0 is on pi by t1. If you put pi by t1 in the signal, you will get always 0. So that's all. But another example, hold on. Now so far we have just calculated only the frequency spectrum. What if we are only given with frequency spectrum, and we wish to continue compute the time domain signal x of t? So we know that this formula is used for inverse Fourier transform. So we are given x j omega this time, and j omega is omega x is 1 from between minus omega 1 w1 to minus w1. This signal is 1, right? So this would be this signal would be reduced to 1 from minus w1 to w1, right? So like this one, and if we wish to compute the integral, we need derivative of this function here. Now the derivative would be jt, because we are integrating with respect to omega now, right? So this would be jt upon jt, and upon jt would be, because it is not in, we were not interested to solve it in integral, we will take it common here. And if we now wish to solve this, this would be again a sine function, right? Upper limit minus lower limit, and you get 1 upon pi sine t. So this is a time domain signal. Now you see, this is t, and its highest amplitude is w by pi, right? So that's all for today. In next lecture, we will be discussing about properties of Fourier transform, and we will also look into detail how periodic signals can also be transformed using frequency transform, right? We have discussed that periodic signals use Fourier series, but we can also use Fourier transform as well to compute the frequency spectrum of periodic signals. Until then, take care.